Stop! Everyone online is lying to you about the best snowblowers 2026. Some people swear Honda is unbeatable, others push budget machines that fail the first storm, and honestly, most of those so-called best snowblowers are total garbage. In this video, I'm showing you the best snowblowers 2026 that actually work, so you don't get stuck outside freezing while your machine chokes on snow. First up, the Honda HSS 928. Yeah, it's expensive. People complain about that a lot, and honestly, I get it. But here's the thing. When you start thinking about reliability, performance, and long-term value, it's hard to beat. This is the kind of Best Snowblowers 2026 entry that makes you question why anyone buys cheap, flashy brands. This is a gas snowblower powered by Honda's GX engine, legendary for a reason. Cold start at -15 degrees F? Easy. Heavy, wet snow that makes smaller machines stall? No problem. Long, compacted plow piles? Doesn't even blink. The engine just works, quietly, consistently, and without drama. If you've ever wrestled with a cheap starter that refused to turn over, you'll appreciate this immediately. The hydrostatic transmission is basically cheating if you're used to traditional gearboxes. Push forward to speed up, pull back to slow down, that's it. Smooth, predictable, and effortless. No gear hunting, no jerky movements, and honestly, once you use it, shifting gears manually feels ancient. And yes, the tracked snowblower option is a game changer if you've got slopes or icy driveways. Compared to wheeled snowblowers, the difference is night and day. Those rubber tracks dig in on ice and gravel, whereas wheels just spin. Steep inclines? Check. Transition from asphalt to gravel? No problem. If you live in an area where your driveway could double as a ski slope, this is exactly what you want. Throwing distance is insane, up to 50 feet in ideal conditions. That means you're not just moving snow, you're relocating it to where it actually stays out of the way. And the controls? Ergonomically designed for heavy gloves. Electric joystick shoot control, dual lever steering, everything's within reach. It's thoughtful, and it's why this keeps appearing on best snowblower brands and top-rated snowblower lists. Now, let's be skeptical for a second. It's heavy, it's overbuilt, and it costs more than most other machines on this list. But if reliability, traction, and winter performance are your top priorities, this HSS 928 might literally be the last snowblower you ever need. Next, the Cub Cadet 2X 30-inch Max. This is the snowblower you move up to after your entry-level machine taps out. If you're looking for snowblowers for large driveways, snowblowers for heavy snow, or two-stage snowblowers that actually deliver, this one deserves a long look. The 30-inch clearing width is the real selling point. Most smaller machines force you to make 4 to 5 passes per driveway. This machine does it in 2. That alone saves a ton of time and back strain. The 23-inch intake height is generous, letting you handle snowbanks, plow piles, and refrozen snow that would stop cheaper blowers cold. Under the hood, you get a 385cc 4-cycle engine built for torque. That means you can push through dense, wet snow without feeling like you're fighting the machine every step of the way. The 14-inch serrated steel augers chew snow efficiently and work in tandem with the impeller to throw it up to 40 feet, plenty for a wide driveway or a suburban lane. The trigger-controlled power steering is surprisingly effective for a machine this size. You can steer one-handed while adjusting the chute with the other, and that flexibility makes it far less frustrating than older two-stage machines. Heated hand grips are standard, and the LED light bar is surprisingly useful for early mornings or late nights. Realistically, the comfort features matter more than people think, because snow season is long, and heavy gloves plus frozen fingers can ruin a perfectly good morning. Skeptical note: it's massive, it's heavy, storage is a pain. But if your driveway is long, wide, or both, this is one of the best gas snowblowers that actually earns its spot on Best Snowblowers 2026 lists. It's not flashy, it's not sleek, but it works, and that's exactly what you want. At number 3, the Toro Power Max HD 828 OAE. If you've ever cursed a snowblower mid-storm because the auger jammed in wet snow, this one deserves your attention. This is a two-stage gas snowblower designed for the type of winter that breaks cheaper machines. That's why it keeps appearing in top-rated snowblowers and Best Snowblowers 2026 discussions. The anti-clogging system is the main attraction. It regulates how much snow enters the auger and impeller, preventing constant stoppages in heavier, wet snow. In real terms, that means fewer interruptions, faster clearing, and a lot less frustration during slushy storms. The engine is a 252cc OHV 4-cycle, tuned to start reliably in cold weather. The 28-inch clearing width paired with a 21-inch intake lets it move substantial snow in fewer passes. Combined with steel augers and a solid steel chute, the build quality feels like it can survive multiple seasons without bending or breaking. Steering is triggerless and surprisingly intuitive. Unlike some power steer systems that feel awkward or require learning, the Toro responds naturally to hand input, which is a small detail until you've wrestled with a bulky machine in deep snow. The throwing distance reaches about 45 feet, meaning you can move snow far enough to avoid clogging your driveway repeatedly. It doesn't have tracks, so it's technically outperformed by tracked snowblowers on steep inclines, but for most residential driveways, the weight balance, responsive engine, and anti-clog system make it one of the most reliable snowblowers available today. If you're comparing tracked versus wheeled snowblowers, this is proof that a wheeled machine can still dominate in typical conditions. Let's talk about our number 4 pick, since now we're getting into the kind of machine that makes you realize some snowblowers are basically toys if you live on a slope or gravel driveway. The Troy-Bilt Storm Tracker 28.90 keeps showing up in Best Snowblowers 2026 conversations for one reason: it doesn't quit when conditions get ugly. First off, it's a tracked snowblower, not a wheeled machine. That's huge if you've got a steep driveway, icy patches, or uneven surfaces. Compared to wheeled snowblowers, the traction is insane. You can climb slopes and blast through icy snow without spinning out. People comparing tracked versus wheeled snowblowers often pick this as the no-regrets option. The 27cc Troy-Bilt engine packs enough muscle to handle up to 12 inches of snow in a single pass. Combined with a 28-inch clearing width and a 20-inch intake height, this two-stage snowblower isn't just for show. It actually makes clearing long or sloped driveways manageable. One feature that gets rave reviews is the track weight transfer system. Basically, you can shift the machine's balance from front to back depending on the terrain, which prevents wheelies or auger stalls when you hit hard-packed or icy snow. It's a small control, but it makes a huge difference when plowing a long, uneven driveway. Comfort features aren't an afterthought either. Heated hand grips keep your fingers from freezing, and the touch-and-turn power steering makes maneuvering a breeze. Without this, a big tracked snowblower can feel clunky and exhausting. The downside? Price. At $1,800 to $2,000 is not cheap, but if your terrain eats smaller snowblowers alive, this is one of the best gas snowblowers you can actually rely on. It's heavy, is loud, and it's intimidating, but it gets the job done every time, which is why it's a regular on top-rated snowblowers lists. Finally, we have the Ariens Deluxe 28. This is the one that makes you stop, look at your driveway, and admit, yeah, some snowblowers are basically tanks. Ariens consistently pops up in Best Snowblowers 2026 roundups because it combines brute power, precise handling, and legendary durability. The engine is a 208cc Ariens AX OHV paired with a 28-inch clearing width and a 21-inch intake height. That means it can move massive amounts of snow quickly, even in heavy or wet conditions. The throwing distance maxes out at 50 feet, so snow isn't just pushed aside, it's launched far enough to keep your driveway clean. One of the standout features is auto-turn steering. Most snowblowers require you to wrestle with handlebars to make tight turns, but Ariens senses direction changes and locks the inside wheel automatically. Tight corners, garage entrances, or car edges, no problem. That alone makes it feel like a premium machine. Build quality is next level.
Steel dash, steel frame, steel chute. There's no plastic to crack or wear out. Owners who've run these machines for multiple winters report minimal maintenance issues, even with heavy snow use. The 14-inch serrated augers bite into packed snow far better than smooth augers on competing machines, which is why it keeps getting mentioned in lists of most reliable snowblowers. Cold mornings, electric start works flawlessly even in negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit conditions, though the pull start is surprisingly solid too. Some people complain about the price, around $1,795, but that's the thing about Best Snowblowers 2026. A good machine isn't cheap, but it's worth it when it actually works. Ariens is big, heavy, and serious. It's not for the casual snow weekend warrior, but if you want a snowblower that feels like it's engineered to survive decades of harsh winters, this is the one. The combination of power, build quality, and steering precision makes it one of the best two-stage snowblowers on the market today.